Today I'm working on the Honda Civic project car. Where I last left off, I went ahead and color sanded the paint to try to get all the defects out and a lot of the orange peel that was on the car. So now it's time to basically color sand and buff. I already previously started by denibbing any of the dust nibs and then also sanding with 2000 grit. But now we're going to be moving on to 3000 grit. This is 3M Trizact in 3000. Of course, pairing that up with my little Matco sander, I go ahead and begin by wetting the panel and then making my way across the panel and getting the paint basically nice and flat. Typically, once you flatten out the paint, you can actually see where your orange peel still is, so we have a little bit more work to do in some areas. Since I don't want to bore you guys to death, I'm pretty much just gonna time-lapse this, but I basically do this to the entire side of the car. After about 30 minutes of sanding, this is basically what the paint looks like, nice and dull and flat. On the passenger side, it's basically the same thing, but as you guys can see, I haven't really gotten too far with it. All I did was basically nib all the little dust nibs that were in the paint, and garage painting, well, you're gonna get a lot of dust nibs, so yeah, let's continue on. So following up to the next night, I basically just taped off some of our edges because I didn't want to burn them during the polishing stage. And also I went ahead and covered up all our seals as well because these are brand new seals that I just replaced and I don't want to get them all full of compound either. For the tools we're going to be using, Harbor Freight Special Bauer rotary polisher, along with the polishing pads from Bauer and the 3M Perfected stages 1 through 3, but basically this is just compounding. I didn't even go the second step or anything because I kind of found a special formula that really reduces the amount of halo or swirl marks, and it was basically using their yellow finishing pad with the Perfected compound. And it does a really good job. It's a little bit slow on correcting the paint, but for someone like me, it was actually perfect. Now I actually ended up running out of Perfected from 3M, so I switched to this medium cut compound from Meguiar's and continued on with our process of polishing up the paint. For some of those nooks and crannies, I ended up grabbing my little snap-on polisher with a little 3-inch pad and went around areas where I knew I couldn't really get with the rotary, and then also some little tight areas up on top as well. So let's go ahead and continue on. After removing all our tape from our edges, this is basically what the Honda ended up looking like. You can see we pretty much got a flawless finish. Now I will say there are some little fish eyes here and there that I'm gonna have to end up correcting later, but for the most part, man, this thing looks sweet. Very minimal orange peel, good reflection, and honestly very good correction with almost zero swirls. And I really think I found a formula on that, but this is nighttime, so let's go ahead and check that out in the daytime. And here we go. I ended up pulling out the car out in the daytime, and you could really see just how well this car looks in the light. Oh my gosh, it just looks almost like a mirror, to be honest with you. Now I do have to do the front fender as well. It's still off the gun finish, but that'll be for a later video. Thanks for watching, guys.